an organization called the British Humanist Association ran an interesting advertising campaign to promote atheism in the marketplace. Richard Dawkins, who is considered the father figure of modern atheism, came up with a nice slogan for this campaign. This is what it said: "There is probably no God. Now stop worrying and enjoy your life." The word probably raised many eyebrows. But the only other suggestion at the table was, "There is almost certainly no God." But the word almost was just as damaging as probably. So why did Dawkins insist on these words probably or almost? Because he knew that nobody can make an affirmative claim that there is no God. The existence of God is a hypothesis that cannot be factually disproved. So, as the adage goes, there are no atheists, only believers and heretics. Let me summarize for you in 3 propositions the foundational belief system of this religion we call atheism, or more broadly, secular humanism. First, God probably exists, but he doesn't care about us. As we just saw, an honest atheist would have no problem admitting that there is a possibility for the existence of God. Their religion is based on reason and science, which say that all observable phenomena in the world are governed by something called natural law. For any law to exist, there has to be a mind behind it, right? Random keystrokes on a computer cannot create law. An intelligent mind has to conceive it first. So the real question is this: if there is a supreme being we call God, why is there so much evil and suffering in the world? So even if God exists, he is indifferent to our pain and suffering. In other words, God doesn't care about us. Second, God probably exists, but we do not need him. Why do we need God if we can take care of ourselves? We are fundamentally moral beings, and we can build an ideal world without his help. In other words, we can be good without God. Let's go to the third proposition. God probably exists, so we should get rid of him. After 9/11 happened, a series of books came out. God Delusion by Richard Dawkins, End of Faith by Sam Harris, God is Not Great by Christopher Hitchens are just a few of the many. All of them had the same vitriolic rhetoric in common. Religion is inherently evil and violent. It poses an imminent threat to human existence. So we should eradicate even the idea of God from public consciousness. Of course, we can understand the sentiments behind this argument, and there is no doubt that religious violence is a complex problem in our society. But the fact is that godless governments like the Nazis in Germany and the communists in Russia and China have killed more people in the last century than all religions combined in their entire history of existence. Whether we like it or not, violence is not a religious problem. It is a human problem. Religion becomes violent because it has humans in it. The reason that religion gets attacked more is that it tries to provide a collective narrative of the universe. But atheism has the luxury of not having to explain anything. Atheists conceive a world that is inherently chaotic and meaningless. But religion gives us a sacred narrative, a story that connects us all. This is why you cannot eradicate religion no matter how much you try. The more you try to end religion, believe me, many people have tried it, the more it mutates into other shapes and forms of spirituality. We know that many people are presumably leaving religion and describe themselves as nuns with no particular religious affiliation. But they are not becoming atheists. Most of them call themselves spiritual but not religious. The others are reinventing their spiritual path through different forms of New Age spirituality, even occults. Why is this happening? The Bible says that God has put eternity in our hearts. So there is no way we can escape from God. We are all created in His image and likeness, whether we believe in His existence or not. So God always shows up in our imagination, uninvited. And He reveals Himself not only in our sacred narratives, but also in the secular imagination. Carl Jung, one of the founding fathers of modern psychology, called these patterns archetypes of the collective unconscious. One of these archetypes I have studied in the field of literature is a Christ figure. A Christ figure is a character in a novel or in a film that symbolizes the redemptive work of Christ. For example, a character who sacrifices his or her life for someone else, or metaphorically going through a death and resurrection process. C.S. Lewis discovered Christ figures in ancient mythologies of Egypt and Rome. He described Christianity as a true myth because he believed that these Christ figures became a historical reality in the person of Jesus Christ. The myth became a fact, and the Christ figures materialized in time and space in the gospel story. Remember, Jesus cried out on the cross, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Here you see Jesus identifying with the ultimate predicament of an atheist, the feeling of separation from God. To be honest, this is a question we have all asked at some point. Where is God? How could this happen to me if there is a God? Atheists appreciate this naked humanity of Jesus. Here is a quote from one of them. "The crucifixion is something absolutely unique because in that moment of, 'Father, why have you abandoned me?' for a brief moment, God Himself becomes an atheist, in the sense of getting a gap there. Your separation from God is a part of divinity itself." Of course, you cannot make a case that Jesus was an atheist, but his identification with the agony of separation between man and God is the most potent manifestation of divinity in the eyes of an atheist. I should also mention that there will always be a group of people who would say that the Jesus story was nothing but a fanciful fairy tale that never really happened. But I don't think anyone with at least some primary college education will take them seriously. There is a general consensus among historians that a person named Jesus lived in 1st century Palestine. Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor at the time, crucified him, and his followers claimed that he was resurrected from the dead. Of course, no scholars will affirm Jesus' divinity, but his humanity is not a point of dispute. The important thing for us to remember is that even atheists respect Jesus as a human being. He was a rebel who challenged the foundational structures of organized religion, which will make him a hero for atheists. He was a moral advocate who championed the cause of the poor, the oppressed, and the disenfranchised, which will make him an ideal humanist. He was a storyteller who deconstructed the meta-narratives of the Jewish law and articulated abstract truths in simple metaphorical language, which will make him a classic postmodernist. As Christians, we tend to downplay the humanity of Jesus because we are afraid that it would somehow compromise his divinity. Personally speaking, it is the humanity of Jesus that first attracted me to Christian faith. So if someone accepts Jesus only as a great moral teacher, I know it is not good enough, but at least I would consider it a good starting point. I am confident that anyone who comes to the human Jesus with an attitude of humility shall encounter the divine Christ. A person who thoughtfully explored Jesus' teaching with an open mind would soon discover that he is much more than a teacher. As C.S. Lewis famously said, a man who taught what Jesus taught and did what Jesus did should be a liar or a lunatic or the Lord himself. I would challenge my atheist friends to look at the bruises on the body of the human Jesus, where he identified with the plight of humanity. He is the ultimate fulfillment of that Christ archetype in secular imagination. The best possible human being going through the worst possible tragedy for the sake of others.